Hey everyone, today I would like to show you how you can create a script that will generate a section or actually sections based on your grids. And the user will have the option to set up the base height, the top height, and the depth of the section. And we will run this through Dynamo Player. So before jumping in, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. So before even starting, I want to just show you what that script can do. So let's go to manage and let's open up Dynamo Player. I'm just gonna find this script and I'm gonna go to edit inputs. But wait a minute, first of all we need to create some grids. So let's create some grids, and that script will follow actually grids at some angle. So go to manage, Dynamo Player. Let's go to sections. Section. So here, that is my script. We can go to edit inputs, and what we can do here is that we can select grids. So let's go to select, and you can select two of these grids. You can say what is the base height you want to have. So for example, let's go to -1 meter. Let's say the top height should be like 4 meters and the depth should be maybe like 3 meters. And now we will go with run script. So as you can see, we've generated two sections, and if you select this section, let's go to the section itself. So as you can see here, that if I go to measure and I have the base height, so my base height is -1 meter, my top height is 4 meters, and if I go back to the plan, I can see that the depth, and I can see that over here the far clip offset, that my far clip offset is set to 3 meters. So this is how we will create that script. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm gonna close it off, I'm gonna move it back up to the, let's go even to this portion. So yeah, let's create some grids, so that'll be there, but it's not that important. So let's go to Dynamo, go to manage and open up Dynamo. I think first of all, I want to just show you the logic behind this so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. I'm just going to walk you through the what things you need to take into consideration, and then we will get to the creation of the script. So let's go here. I have that script. Actually, I need to delete something over here. So like, this is not what I wanted to change. So basically here, as you can see, my goal was to make that script based on grids. Whenever you start doing something in Dynamo, the best advice is to start from the end, right? You need to go with the, so I started with the node that will generate everything. So the node is section view by coordinate system, min point and max point, right? So basically you need to start with exploring how you can create a coordinate system, how you can get that min point and max point, and what is it all about. Maybe it's even better that I just close it off and build that from scratch so you can see how that works and what is the logic behind this, right? So let's close it off. So let's go to new. So what I want to start with is the option to select my grids, right? Because I want my script be based on this option. So we go and type select model elements, and this will give me an option to actually select model elements or just one of them. It doesn't matter, let's pick one of them. So right now we have just a grid, so it's a Revit element. You can tell this by the way that you have an ID here, and if you click on this ID, it will highlight this element in Revit. What we need to do with our grid is to get a curve out of this grid. Again, before even jumping in, I want to show you how we can generate this, right? So we can type here section, or actually I think we can find this by doing that a little bit differently. So let me find this just by going to Revit. Here I have views. I should have here section. Yes, section view. Here we have the option to actually generate or create sections by using bounding box. It is so limited, and this one is where you're flexible and have more options. So we need to have a coordinate system, and when we will have a coordinate system, we can get the minimum and maximum point. I will show you what I'm talking about. So basically what I want to start with is by creating a coordinate system. And if you think about this, if you have a point, out of point you can create a plane, and out of plane you can create a coordinate system. So having this, bearing this thing in logic, like bearing this logic in mind, we will create that script. So let's get how we can get a point based on that grid. So we can turn our grid into the curve. So let's go and type grid.curve. So you can get, out of grid, you can get a curve. So as you can see here, we have just a line. And if I zoom to fit, as you can see, you have just a curve. With curve, you have a lot of flexibility right now. That so with curve, we know that we can get curve point at parameter. So basically what that node does is that when you fit in the point over here, it's going to have a parameter. So for example, you can generate, it ranges from 0 to 1. So basically if you type something like 0.3, it will generate a point on this side. So let's say I want to have a point on 0.5, right? So this is what we have. And now that we have a point, right, and if you try to understand, let's type plane, just plane. I want to show you, and you can go to the plane option and just see what you can do with planes and how you can create some stuff. So basically, out of plane, we can create a plane out of point and out of the vector, right, like a normal. So over here, let's kind of see what we have. So we have two coordinate systems. So this node we will use later on because we need to actually fit in our plane here. And here, if you scroll through that, we can actually see how we can generate this, right? So we can generate this by origin and normal. So what it does, that to the origin you connect your point, and to the normal you connect your vector. And this is really important to understand which plane you need to use. So the plane is really vital here. So let's kind of just place that point to that origin, and let's have just some of the vector, maybe z, x, or y. Let's go with y, for example. I'm gonna explain everything in depth right now. If I select this element and I go and I just click on enable 3D preview and went to zoom to fit, right? As you can see, that is the plane that we're working. And if I change this to, for example, z axis, right? That is the plane. If I change this to x axis, so this way you can explore what kind of planes you have. And what is the way how you can understand which plane you need to use. So for example, let's go to Revit. Here, first of all, we need to understand in which direction your section should follow. I want my section to create that way, right? So that is the way I want my section to be, like vertical section, right? And if you think about this, you really need to be familiar with Revit and how work plane works. So if I were to create a reference plane, let's create a reference plane over here. And let's name this reference plane A. And go to 3D. If you go to set a work plane, so you can go and set a work plane, and you can set a work plane to that reference plane A, and then you can show it. That is the work plane. So basically, that is the work plane that we need to do to create that section, right? So basically, because this is how we draw this. So this way you can kind of understand which plane you need to use. So here the y-axis is the perfect option for us. But And yeah, now out of this, we can create plane right to here, right? So basically we can create a plane and we have a coordinate system. What is really important to understand here that we want to follow any angle of the grid. So here I'm just showing you that you have this like another tool in your arsenal, but you need to know that if you want to find the angle and you have some sort of a curve, it's better to use um, a curve plane at parameter. So we have that option, plane add parameter. I just want to show you that node. So plane add parameter. So as you can see here, we have um, actually curve point add parameter that gets this one, but we also can get a curve and the parameter 0.5. Let me delete this one, right? So let me delete this, or even not. So what do we need to get out of this plane add parameter? That we can get the axis out of our plane. Why am I doing this? Because I want, because now if we go with the plane add parameter, that will always follow the grid. So if you have a grid at some angle, that will follow it. So what we need to go is to go to plane, and here out of plane we can get some axis, and let's get this y-axis. So this is actually what kind of a plane we have, and we can connect the plane to the plane y-axis. And as you can see, we have the vector, and now we can create a plane by origin. So let's go back, let's make this a little cleaner. So we have this curve at parameter, right? So this point, yeah, let's gonna move it here. Let's gonna make it. So yeah, we have this plane. Let's take that off. So let's connect the normal and the point that we have here, right? As you can see, this is exactly what we want to have. So let's go there and turn on. So this is exactly what we want to have. But so we have grid, we created a point, right? So we've created a point. Now that y-axis is not that important for us. So we've generated our plane, and that is our plane, and we can connect this to the coordinate system. So basically with this node, we've created a coordinate system that we need to use. So let's go there, just go Control G and name this one like create, let's go here, create a coordinate system, right? Right now, what I really like is that if you see that node, right, we get that coordinate system, but you may ask like, what is the min point and what is the max point? And to understand this, it's better to visualize that. And right now, as you can see, I just want to show you a little bit of a trick. That here we can see the coordinate system. As you can see how that goes, like it goes to the bottom actually, right? So here it goes to the bottom. So if you want to change that direction, so it's still kind of y-axis, but you want to change the direction of this so that it'll go to the up. What you can do is that you can go with node vector vector that reverse, right? And you can actually reverse the vector that you have. So you can go plane y, you can reverse that vector and connect here. You can click on your vector reverse and hold on shift key and click on your group, and you can right click and add this to group. So right now, as you can see, you will reverse that. So now you have this in a different direction. Actually, I think that we can even pick the let's kind of turn off the preview of this, right? So you can see. Okay. So now we have that coordinate system, right? How we can visualize this, how we can understand what is the min point and what is the max point. So what we can use is a couple of nodes that are going from the coordinate system, and here we have the coordinate system, and right at the bottom you have the z-axis, you have y-axis, and you have x-axis, and you have the origin. So the best way to visualize this is that you can as you can see here, it waits for the coordinate system, and here you have the coordinate system. Always think about the object data and what you fit in, what it waits to get. So we can connect all of these. And here we get the point, and here we get the vector, right? And what we can do is go line by, and I want to create a line that's using the direction, the length, and start point. So this will be our start point, right? So the start point of our origin. And we can have, like, let's copy this and paste. You can control and drag. It's up to you the way you use this. And I want to move it here because it's just for us to visualize that. So it's going to be easier for us to work with. And I can, let's type the dimension, the length, like 1 meter. And let's connect the direction. This one for the X, this one for the Z, this one for the Y. And let's fit in all of the, and I want to go to manual, like to work in manual mode. So it's not going to lag. And let's go with F5. You can click F5 or go and click run. As you can see now, let's make it not that big. 100 maybe will be enough, not 5,000. Oh, yeah, because they went, yeah. So here you have your axis, right? So this way, now you can click on that line and see, okay, that is my X axis, that is my Z axis, and that is my Y axis, right? And if you go and turn on the grid, let's turn on the preview of this. So now we have the preview of this, and now you can actually understand where, so this is your start. Imagine this one as your section, and now you have the option to control the depth, the height, right? So the depth, the height, and like the length of this. So now what we have that, let's start with x-axis. So x-axis is the height. You need to have minimum and maximum point. So minimum point, let's create like point by coordinates. Point by coordinates. I think it's not that. Point by coordinates. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna copy and paste it. So 2 points, so minimum and maximum point. What I want to have here is, let's say that we start with x-axis, right? So that is the height. I want to type that for the x, the minimum point, and I'm going to go with number. Actually, what I forgot to do, because we're going to run this through a Dynamo player, we need to right click on the node and say that that is an input. So when it's input, you can run this through Dynamo player. And let's type here like select grids, right? Select grids. And here, why I went with number instead of typing this directly in a code block, that with number you can right click and say that that is an input. So we can say that that'll be like base height. Oops. Base height. So I can connect the x to the base height, and I can drag and say that is my top height. Right? That is my base height, that is my top height. So my x, as you can see when I select this again, that is just, oops. So for visualize, so, right, so easier for you to kind of see. So yeah, you can select like 3,000 or whatever you want to have here. The next is y, right? So y, let's see what is our y actually, right? So let's select our y, and that is actually our length. Let be our length. You can set it up, but we can get this out of our grid. If you know, we have the curve. So here we get the curve out of our grid, and we can type something like curve.length. And out of this length, we can get the dimensions of the curve that we have. Go with F5. As you can see, you have again, you shouldn't care about where these ones are located. Your goal is to just visualize where's your x, where's your y, and where's your z. You just fit in here the parameters, and you don't care about these points that it will generate. So we have the length, and we can divide it by 2, and the first one, right, so the first point I want to be right somewhere here. So let's say that I want my first point be here and the second point be here. So what I should do, I should divide my distance by 2, and this one will be with minus, and this one will be with a plus sign. So let's make it like this. Let's even go a little bit different, or okay. So basically that is, again, to check, that is our y. So we can say y equals to, let it be L divided by 2, L divided by 2, and we should have something like that, and some sort of like, let's name this again a y1 minus L divided by 2, right? We can connect that L and say that that is for my start, but not, that is a bad thing, but it depends whether you want to be that. So let's say that I don't want to have this as an input, I just want this to be calculated automatically, but let's do this that way, right? So that will be our minus, that will be our plus. The next thing what we need to do is to go with the z. So let's check it out. Where's our z? So there's our z, and that is the depth. So let's again go with number, and let's say that is our depth, right? And the depth should be, so here you can type like 0. So let's say that here it will be 0 at the midpoint, and here we will kind of input what is the depth should be, right? So now here we have this portion, like, let's move it, let's drag it there, right? Control G and say inputs, right? So it's easier for us to see them. So now we're ready to create our sections, right? So it can actually sometimes, yeah, let's kind of delete everything that we've done with Dynamo. It can lag, so maybe you need to refresh that script, but it is what it is. So right now you can actually feed in what you have. So we have the coordinate system, right? So we can fit in the coordinate system. We have the minimum point, so that is our minimum. Let's kind of connect this. Minimum point, and that is our maximum point. Right? There we go. So we can connect our minimum point and our maximum point, and everything should work correctly. So if I go with run, that should work. I hope that'll work. Let's kind of go with run. Yeah, as you can see, we've generated a section. With the view, as I showed you in the very beginning, right? So, and here we've generated that our base height will be 0. As you can see, base height is 0. Top height is 3 meters. So let's kind of measure if you want, like 3 meters, right? And the depth, let's go to the first level, select this one, and the depth, we can check it out here in the far clip offset, and the depth is set to 3 meters. So that way you can generate this. Now it's all the point that make sure that all of this is inputs. So this top height should be the input, and depth should be his input, and it's just a matter of saving this and open this as in Dynamo player. So the takeaway from this that you need to understand, that always start from the end of your script, right? Understand what you need to have to get it there, right? So here I knew that I needed to get a coordinate system. Don't be scared of this, like coordinate system, oh my god, what is that? You need to just understand what you're doing, and try to cultivate that logic, kind of develop that logic where you kind of have this step by step, right? So for example, okay, if I have a point, I can get a plane, and out of plane I can get a coordinate system. You will just get this with experience and working with Dynamo, but that is the key here to understand. So yeah, understand about vectors, how you can manipulate them, what you need to do for that, and how you can set inputs. What helped me a lot, and I think that is the must-have thing, that you need to visualize that. For me, that was difficult to understand where's my x, where's my z, and where's my y. So basically, visualize that, see where it is and how that works. And don't forget that you have the option to always to reverse a vector. So that's it. I think I've showed you in the very beginning how you can do this with using Dynamo Player. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video if you find this useful. And yeah, have a nice day.